Hello. Hello, police. Yeah, what's the problem, sir? We just drove down our farm track. Yeah. Go and feed our pheasants. We come across a Range Rover with 3 people in it. Yeah. It appears that they're dead. I don't know what's happening. Blood in the motor all over them.
And welcome back to a new video on the Essex Boys case. As always, if you are enjoying the content, please do give the video a thumbs up. And if you're interested in the Essex Boys case, or simply true crime in general, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Now this is when the story takes yet another bizarre twist. A man recalls seeing a blue Range Rover with 4 occupants in the vehicle heading on the A127 arterial road. Just who were the occupants of this vehicle, and who is the man in the back with the jacket with the big lapels? Let's take a look at that following statement. The following statement is from Arthur Wyatt. At around 17:15 hours on Wednesday the 6th of December 95, I was travelling along the A127 arterial road in the general direction of Southend. At this time, I had just left Basildon. It was dark and damp. I was driving my own car, which is a metallic blue Austin Metro. Somewhere near the turn-off for the A130, I was aware of a blue-coloured Range Rover travelling in the near side lane of the dual carriageway, just ahead of me in the same direction. There was a couple of cars in front of me, then the Range Rover in front of them. The road was busy with cars at this time. My attention was drawn to the Range Rover because the driver seemed to be unsure of where he was going. I say this because on 2 occasions he moved over towards the offside lane and then went back to the near side lane immediately. These manoeuvres were deliberate in as much as that in hindsight he may have been trying to obtain a view of the traffic ahead. The Range Rover was a mid-blue colour and seemed in good condition. There were 2 people in the back which were both white males. I would age them between 30 to 40 years of age. I think they were scruffy and were not suited to that type of car. I saw the driver momentarily on 2 occasions that he pulled over. The driver appeared younger than the 2 men in the back, and I could not see if the front seat passenger was occupied or not. I would describe the driver as having straight, dark, shortish hair. He was clean shaven. I seem to recall that the man behind the driver had a dark reefer-type coat. The jacket had big lapels on it. I cannot describe the men any further. When I saw them, I was driving at a speed of 40 to 45 miles per hour. I last saw the Range Rover when it turned off onto the A130 as if they were going to Chelmsford or Canvey Island. Since the 6th of December, I have been aware through local media of the 3 men shot dead at Rettendon. I have seen pictures of these men on the news. I can only say that these persons were similar to those 3 men that I saw. Okay, now this is an incredibly strange statement. Now, this matches in so many different ways. Right, so we have the driver who appears younger than the 2 people in the back. That matches Tucker, Tate and Rolfe. We know that Rolfe was 26 and Tucker and Tate were in their late 30s. We know that Rolfe had straight, dark hair. But who were the 2 rear passengers? Was the front passenger seat occupied or not? You would have to assume that it more than likely was. If you have 2 people in the back, that's probably because someone is also sitting in the front. But who are these 2 rear passengers? We've already heard that Craig Rolfe was alone at 16:30, and just after 5 p.m, the vehicle is now full with at least two other occupants. Now, this does not match the description of Tate or Tucker, this man wearing the coat with the big lapels. Were there more people involved in this crime than we've ever been led to believe? There's a potential here for there to be 2 Range Rovers involved in this crime, and the blue Range Rover, if this is the one driven by Craig Rolfe, has different occupants in it than Michael Steele. This isn't Michael Steele, this isn't Pat, Tony and Craig, this is someone completely different. Now, who are these occupants? Also look at the way the vehicle was driving. The pattern again of them driving. almost looking ahead. I don't believe he was looking for where he was going. I believe he was looking ahead up the road, possibly to see where a white vehicle was. When we get to Rebecca Carr's statement in a little while, you will hear of the back passenger leaning between the two front seats and pointing forward to the cars ahead. Is this another similar situation here, where the Range Rover and its occupants are looking ahead in the traffic, trying to find the white vehicle? The next eyewitness account comes from Pat Tate's neighbour on Gordon Road. He recalls seeing a new Range Rover turning up outside the property and the door slamming next door. This would have been at around 17:30 on the evening of the 6th of December. So let's take a look at this eyewitness account. The following statement is from Jason Hassell. The bungalow next door to ours is number 49, and this was occupied by a woman called Sarah who has a young child. I only really knew her to say hello to, and she lives there alone. Around 4 weeks ago, a male person moved in, and I took him to be Sarah's new boyfriend. I would describe him as white, aged in his early 30s. He was over 6 feet tall, with a very heavy build. He had short black hair and spoke with a local accent. I only ever spoke to him once when his burglar alarm was ringing. Since he moved in, the number of visitors has increased. I can recall seeing many different types of motor cars, which are as follows: a 928 Porsche, colour black; red Volkswagen GTI no later than a F-Reg; black C-Reg Ford Fiesta XR2; black Volkswagen Polo; green Volkswagen Passat; white Ford Orion; and a green Range Rover. Most of these vehicles were there at night. Sarah's car was a light-coloured Renault 5. The most frequent visitor was a male person who I now know to be Tucker, who drove the green Range Rover. I recognised Tucker and my neighbour described above as Tate from photographs I saw in national newspapers covering the murders of the 3 men in a Range Rover at Rettendon. Around 5:30 p.m. on the 6th of December, I was in the back garden of our bungalow when I heard a motor vehicle horn being sounded at the front of the bungalow. I thought it was my mum arriving home from work, as she usually does at this time. I thought it was her sounding the horn because my car was blocking the drive. I walked inside to my dad's office, which is at the front. I looked out of the window and saw a Range Rover turning around in front of our bungalow. It was a light-coloured one. I don't believe it was the same one that Tucker used. I could not see how many people were in it. I could not see my mum's car. The Range Rover stopped in the road outside number 49. I then heard the front door of number 49 slam shut. A few seconds later, I heard the sound of a car door being shut. I took this to be the door of the Range Rover. As I walked away, I heard the Range Rover rev up and drive off towards Timberlog Lane. I recalled a wheel spinning on the ice and snow. I went into the kitchen and carried on with what I was doing. I am willing to attend court if required. Okay, now a lot of you hearing that will immediately think that this solves the riddle of the green Range Rover. Well, quite simply, it does not. If you think about this logically, Tucker may well have owned a green Range Rover at some point in time, but he went out of his way to purchase a blue one for Craig to use to ferry Tucker and Tate around. What would be the need to purchase the blue Range Rover if Tucker still had the use of the green one? I believe he'd either sold it or it was off the road during this time. What else can we take from this eyewitness account? Well, according to the person who was looking through the window, according to the neighbour here, this wasn't the common Range Rover which used to pull up outside Pat Tate's house. This was a different one. Now, do bear in mind this person is looking through a window. He is looking into the darkness. It's potentially snowy or drizzly outside, and the Range Rover may have been parked underneath a street lamp. We've already seen pictures of the green and black Range Rover and how they can look so similar, especially with the light turned down slightly. So this person's visibility would have been restricted to some degree. And when he looks outside into the darkness and sees this Range Rover, it may actually have appeared a lighter colour than what it actually was, especially if it was parked, as I say, underneath a street lamp. Could this have been the green Range Rover? Could this have been the normal blue Range Rover? The problem we have here is that this timeline does not match up with Donna Jagger's statement of her being dropped off at the Lakeside shopping centre. So was this a different Range Rover collecting Pat Tate, potentially the green one? If you would like to learn more about the Range Rover murders, then click on the video in front of you now. You will also see the Essex Boys playlist, which has all of the videos concerning this case in one convenient folder. Many thanks for joining me for this video. I look forward to seeing you all again for the next one. Take care. Cheers.